Tonight, Water New South Wales declares the resumption of flow policy a success, and a new chemotherapy unit opened in Port Lincoln.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. New South Wales' Water Minister has defended their controversial water policy, saying the Darling River is now flowing into Menindee. The policy goes under the spotlight in Broken Hill tomorrow at a parliamentary inquiry hearing.
This time last week, 3 councils and a state MP requested a review into the resumption of flow policy. 7 days on, Water Minister Melinda Pavey and Water New South Wales say the restrictions have worked.
Water New South Wales was operating on behalf of the New South Wales Government to pursue connectivity between the Queensland border and Menindee Lakes.
That goal achieved, with the Water Minister saying water has flowed in parts of the river for the first time in months. Water also expected to flow into the Menindee Lakes at double the level initially forecast.
So it's still a benefit for the lake, still a benefit for Wetherill, but most importantly, that connectivity bringing benefit for the environment, long-suffering farmers.
Reaffirming the policy is designed to help the river north of Menindee, where water is less secure.
That's the rule, as it's quite clearly stipulated in the water sharing plan, under which Water New South Wales operates that river.
The rule still not sitting well with many locals.
Despite seeing water go over the weir at Wilcannia and a doubling of the estimate of water to hit Wetherill, I'm still very firm that I want to see an independent review to look at how these rules were implemented.
Community concerns surrounding water management will be on the public agenda tomorrow, with parliamentary hearings to be held in Broken Hill and Sunset Strip.
I want to encourage anyone with an interest in Menindee Lakes to get along and speak to the members of the inquiry.
That inquiry to be held at Council Chambers tomorrow afternoon. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A new chemotherapy unit is helping ease the emotional pain for cancer patients in Port Lincoln. The hospital rolling out medium complexity care, meaning more locals can be treated in their home area.
A shot in the arm for regional healthcare.
It upskills the local staff and it greatly increases the treatment options available.
Port Lincoln Hospital given the green light to offer medium complexity chemotherapy.
So certain drug combinations or just certain drugs that previously were deemed not suitable in an environment without an oncologist or certain trained staff suddenly become accessible here in Port Lincoln.
It means more regional patients will be able to receive vital health care locally, helping ease the emotional burden of treatment.
No longer are they required to go to Whyalla or Adelaide to have their face-to-face clinics and their medium complexity treatment. We will now be able to offer some of that in Port Lincoln.
Port Lincoln is the 3rd regional hospital to make use of the new treatment, with similar practices already running in the Riverland and Victor Harbour.
People are much more likely to actually pursue a treatment option if they can have it without actually the burden of travel being put on top.
The upgrade is part of the South Australian Government's $6.9 million boost for regional healthcare.
Those who are able to access this are closer to home, closer to care, closer to the people they know.
As part of the rollout, a new medical oncologist and cancer care coordinator is now on call at the hospital.
I can only see great things ahead for Port Lincoln's service.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
York Mid-North Police have been kept busy in the last week with a raft of motorists caught driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Just before 1:30 on Thursday, a 41-year-old local woman tested positive to cannabis after being pulled over by patrols on Horner Street. Her male passenger was reported for allegedly carrying an offensive weapon. On Saturday, patrols stopped a Toyota sedan driving on 3 Chain Road, where a 50-year-old Port Pirie man allegedly tested positive to cannabis and methamphetamine. Port Pirie police are calling on the community to help locate a stolen bicycle taken Friday afternoon. Police allege this navy Kona Honzo medium bike was taken from an Eagle Court home between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. The occupant was home at the time, but didn't see or hear anything. They believe someone entered the open garage and fled with the bike. Anyone with information is being urged to contact Crime Stoppers. The state government has reaffirmed its commitment to providing millions in extra funding to the MFS. But the United Firefighters Union says it's disappointed the matter isn't being taken more seriously.
Millions in funding set to provide additional resources for the MFS. The state government reaffirming its commitment to providing new state-of-the-art appliances and protective equipment for firefighters.
Over the next 12 months, we'll have 12 additional new fire trucks, and we've provided additional ongoing funding, so an extra $2 million this year and an extra $3 million a year indexed from the year afterwards onwards.
He says the government recognises the need for new firefighting assets, with last year's state budget commencing the process.
Resourcing issues are taken at budget time. We've announced the budget decision in November, and we'll continue to fund those.
But the United Firefighters Union isn't buying it, as they look for a better deal.
Sadly, it's more smoke and mirrors from the Marshall government, and in fact, these are announcements that have been announced previously and re-announced, so there is no new funding.
With the union committed to its campaign, the Treasurer has warned no amount of industrial action will provide an extra dollar for resources.
We want the Marshall government to get serious about fire and rescue services in South Australia and come to the table and negotiate.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, Broken Hill's cobalt mine set for an expansion, and parents warned to keep their families safe from online threats. Welcome back. Cobalt Blue has announced plans to expand the exploration area for its proposed mine by up to 70%. The company's CEO says there's international interest in their product, with the local community set to benefit.
It's a project locals hope will create long-term jobs for the Silver City, and there's further signs the Broken Hill Cobalt project is living up to expectations.
There's about a 17-year operating life that we've declared. We're looking to go over 20 years, and that's for investors, so there's a longer dated, better economics.
It's hoped the expansion, covering 67 square kilometres, will improve the project's lifespan. Companies across the globe waiting to get their hands on sample products within months.
Wow, that's non-African cobalt of this quantity and this quality. Where's this from? And you know, they won't believe you it's from Australia.
The Mining and Energy Union welcoming this latest development.
This is a new venture in the cobalt, and whatever else may come out of that. So, yeah, it's just an opportunity for the town and hopefully everyone.
The operation could employ up to 400 people at capacity, with the company aiming to use a local workforce where possible.
We're looking to work with the community, so we've already preferentially sourced a lot of our contracts and goods and services from locally.
I'm sure there's got to be specialised, job roles, and I'm sure people have got to be brought in to cover them.
The pilot plant is expected to open within weeks. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
As the coronavirus pandemic changes how we live, the internet has brought us together to work, learn and stay connected. With today marking Safer Internet Day, experts are spreading online safety messages to help promote awareness among families.
The online world has shaped our lives, helping us stay connected in times of crisis. But while the internet may have its benefits, experts say we also need to be aware of the risks.
The internet is a great way of staying in contact, but we do know that some people, not only in this country but other countries, do use the internet to work scams and try and take advantage of those more vulnerable people in our community.
SAPOL reaffirming its commitment to cyber safety, encouraging people to start the chat about the dangers of being online.
Talking about what the risks are and just being aware that whilst we do use it every day, part of our everyday lives, we do need to be aware of those risks.
With young people increasing their social media presence, parents are asked to help educate their children.
Making sure they're setting their Instagram to private, they're not adding random people on Snapchat, just making sure everyone that is on their social media is actually a friend or a relative, or at least someone they know.
Helping to promote positive use of digital technology and understanding the role everyone plays in creating a safer for internet space.
But we want them to always be respectful and to not put anything out that might embarrass them in a few years' time. So it's just about creating a good image for themselves and for others.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Whyalla City Council is now waiting for the results from the recent Foreshore Cafe survey. Now closed, the survey provided 6 options on potential uses of the Foreshore facility, along with estimated timeframes and budgets. More than 1,000 people contributed, with the results now being processed and analysed by an independent research company. A decision on the building's future will be made at Monday night's council meeting. A year after COVID restrictions led to its closure, Broken Hill's Old Royal Hotel is up for sale. The pub on the corner of Mica and Oxide Streets first opened in 1889 and has a bar, bistro and 6 bedrooms. The agent saying it could also be used as a function centre or rezoned for commercial usage. It's one of 6 pubs currently for sale in the city, with the asking price sitting at $850,000. Stay with us. A Wallaroo distillery celebrates 12 months in business, and new grants available for our local seafood industry. Despite a challenging year, Wallaroo's Gin Distillery and Brewery Bond Store is celebrating 12 months in business. Owners are ecstatic to reach the milestone as they work to transform this sleepy coastal town.
It's been a whirlwind year for this small family business who, despite all odds, has come out on top.
A lot of businesses don't make it to 12 months, and especially when you consider COVID and all the lockdowns that have happened, there was a lot of times where it was looking uncertain, so it's really nice that we've made it this far.
Transforming Wallaroo, they say it's a boost the town has needed, with locals showing their support.
People love to show support to a local family business and one that's sort of changing the face of Wallaroo.
Owners have been working hard this summer to entice travellers to visit.
Our January, we were up 50% on last January. We've really showcased the Copper Coast, and it's great to be able to do that on behalf of other businesses and people that live here.
A smorgasbord of options, this restaurant boasts its own gin distillery and brewery.
My favourite beer at the moment is the Ruby Sour. I'm one that likes a sourer drink, and so the Ruby Sour is really good. Out of the liqueurs, the limoncello is really nice.
Celebrations begin next Saturday, with owners welcoming all visitors who wish to join in.
Get in your car, it's about an hour and a half from Adelaide. Find a local place to stay. Bring an empty esky and go home with some nice beers, some nice gins.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Sobering figures from Seafood Industry Australia have revealed workers in commercial fishing experience twice the stress compared to the general population. Fishing communities are now being encouraged to band together to support mental health.
It's backbreaking work both physically and mentally.
This year, unfortunately, has exacerbated it for many people in the seafood industry.
The past 12 months has left a dark cloud over Port Lincoln's fishing industry, a slump in overseas sales causing growing pressure.
We're just hearing from people who are struggling. They're struggling emotionally, they're struggling with concerns about the future of their livelihoods, of how they're going to support their families, and for some people it's how they're going to pay their rent.
Sadly, it's a common story in the industry, with fishers experiencing more than double the stress than the general population, according to Seafood Industry Australia.
Ultimately, constant change and constant uncertainty has an enormous impact.
Companies now being encouraged to band together with a rollout of community resilience grants.
They'll be really community-driven initiatives, so it'll be responses in communities that respond to what those communities need, which will be really exciting for our region across the Eyre Peninsula.
35 grants of up to $2,000 each is being offered to help support events raise awareness on mental health.
We really want to make sure that we're building supports in communities, and so it's our seafood industry members supporting one another.
If you or someone you know needs help, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Planning for next month's Unearth Festival in Whyalla is in full swing, with council calling on local businesses to participate. Staff looking for a selection of food, drinks and variety stalls to set up at multiple events.
After a 12-month break, the Unearth Festival is being reborn, the coronavirus pandemic forcing its cancellation last year, with the team working to ensure it will be COVID safe.
We've been working hard behind the scenes to get Unearth ready, and we are on the verge of announcing the program.
The festival's very first night market now going ahead, with council calling on stallholders to be part of 3 festive events.
We would love more applications to come in, and we've just advertised on the Unearth page, so if you jump on there and click online, there's an application form.
The first one will be held on Friday the 19th of March in the Ada Ryan Gardens.
I wanted to connect to this beautiful venue here, and that's where this whole journey started for us.
A range of entertainment is scheduled for the night.
We'll have markets, hopefully food stalls, and we can come down and enjoy how beautiful the gardens do look up when they're all lit up and full of people and excitement.
Following will be 2 days of stall fun at Jessup White Park from 11 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Council says it's a great opportunity for locals to showcase their businesses.
We've got a huge variety already. We're looking for food vendors, any arts and crafts, anything you can do, apply. We'd love to see what you've got.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We will review the weekend's cricket action. And Alex Sykes will have the latest weather details. Hello again. It was a battle of the cities in the weekend's local cricket action, with the final rounds of the Northern Super League between Whyalla and Port Augusta teams being played. Sophia Contagonis has this week's cricket wrap.
The sun was shining here at Whyalla's Memorial Oval, with Central Whyalla taking on the travelling West Augusta. Central Whyalla starting the day strong, defeating West Augusta by 114 runs, taking lead by veterans Brad Smith and Scott Collison, proving too strong for Port Augusta's West. Central's made 9 for 171, with West Augusta limping to just 9 for 57. In the second Whyalla-hosted game, Rupina won by 88 runs. Rupina made 9 for 197, and Central were all out for 109. Rupina having plenty contributors with bat and bowl to get the win. Over in Port Augusta, the first game was between Corn and West Whyalla. Corn taking out the win by 50 runs, with West Whyalla bowled out for just 123. Corn's Scott Williams dominating with the bat, and in the other game, South Augusta defeating North Whyalla by 43 runs. A couple of handy innings by Rowan Turbine and Ben Trewatha, setting the game up nicely for South. Clayton Parkinson took 3 early crucial wickets to limit North Whyalla's impact with the bat. Over in Broken Hill, North defeating Central by 6 wickets on the back of a brilliant performance in the field. Best players were Tommy Carruthers and Luke Hull, both putting their bodies on the line multiple times to save some vital runs throughout the innings. There are 2 minor round games left before finals, with North set to take on South at Jubilee Oval this Saturday. Over in Port Lincoln, and Southern Air defeating Todd River by 40 runs, the Waybacks scoring a narrow 2-wicket win over Lincoln South, while in the third game, Tasman took home the win by 3 wickets over Charlton, only managing 110 runs. And finally in Port Pirie, a half a century from Scott McIntyre, helping Proprietary defeat Wandera to keep them in second place on the ladder. And Southport defeating Port Germain, falling an astonishing 8 runs short in its chase. And that's a wrap of this week's cricket.
Time now for a look at what's happening in the weather across our region. With all the details, here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John. Mainly fine conditions across the region. From 3 p.m, it was sunny and 32 in both Broken Hill and Whyalla. Similar conditions in Port Pirie with a top of 35 degrees there. A top of 25 and partly cloudy in Port Lincoln. Wouldn't reach 36 degrees, a top of 35 in Port Augusta, Kadina and Cleve. Clare mostly sunny, a top of 30. Sunny and 38 degrees in Cooper Pedy, and it was partly cloudy and 28 in Adelaide. Taking a look at the satellite image now, high cloud over southeastern parts of SA is gradually thinning out as a low and front move away, causing showers to become light and isolated. Skies are already generally clear across the state's far north, where winds are dry. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Easterly winds ranging between 10 and 15 knots, with seas and swell peaking between 1 and 2 metres. It'll be hot and sunny conditions tomorrow. Port Lincoln 32, Cleve will have a maximum of 38. Very hot day in Woodna with a top of 41 there. Whyalla will have a top of 36 degrees. Port Augusta will be very hot and sunny with 41 degrees. Clear skies and 36 degrees in Kadina. Port Pirie we have 40 degrees there, 36 and sunny in Clare, and a top of 37 degrees is expected for Broken Hill. Taking a look further through the week now, temperatures will remain high on Thursday as a large cloud mass will move across the region, bringing a few showers to the southwest on Thursday. 40 degrees in Port Pirie and Cooper Pedy. Port Augusta will have the region's maximum of 42 and tops of 37 in Woodna, Kadina and Adelaide. Temperatures dropping on Friday, rain and 24 in Cooper Pedy. Broken Hill will have a maximum of 29 degrees, tops of 25 in Port Pirie and Woodna, and a fairly mild day in Adelaide with tops of 22 degrees there. Mainly fine conditions on Saturday with mild to warm temperatures. Broken Hill will reach 29 degrees, 28 in Port Pirie and Cooper Pedy. Port Augusta and Kadina will both have 27, 25 in Whyalla, and a degree cooler for Adelaide. So a bit of a mixed bag of conditions there during the week, John, but looking to clear up just in time for the weekend. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.